This video is on dividing monomials with negative exponents. We've seen one like this before, x to the first over x to the eighth. What that literally means is I have 1x on top, 8x's on bottom. If I cancel that 1x on top with 1 on bottom, I am left with 7 on the bottom. So my answer is 1 over x to the 7th. Now another way to do this is, because when you divide with a common base, you subtract the exponents. 1 minus 8 equals x to the negative 7 exponent. Simplest form will never have a negative exponent. So what the lesson is today is knowing what to do with a negative exponent. If you have a negative exponent, you write its reciprocal. It's not the official definition, but reciprocal kind of means just flipping a fraction upside down. Now, I'm not going to say the word reciprocal every time I do this. What I'm going to do is if I have a negative exponent, I'm just going to move it. If it's in the top, I'm going to move it to the bottom. If I have a negative exponent in the bottom, I'm going to move it to the top. Here's another example, 3 to the negative 2 power. That's understood to be in the numerator. It's understood to be over 1. So if I want to get rid of that negative exponent, I just move it to the denominator. That's not simplest form. Simplest form would be 1 over 9. On example 2, I have 2m over n to the negative 4 power. My 2 is fine. My m is fine. What I need to do is get rid of that negative 4 on the n. It's in the denominator, so I move it up to the numerator. Now it's positive, and I'm done. My answer is 2m n to the 4th power. Here I have n to the negative 2 power over n to the 4th. I have 4 n's on the bottom already, and I have 2 on the top that I need to move to the bottom. If I take those 2 n's up top and I move them to the bottom and add them to the 4 that's already there, I have a total of 6 n's. So just take your 2 n's up top, move them down to the bottom where they go, add them to the 4 that's already there. 2 plus 4 is 6. An alternative way to do this, which I do not advise, but you could subtract negative 2 minus 4. Negative 2 minus 4 is n to the negative 6. And then you move those 6 to the bottom because you had a negative exponent. Here I have n to the 4th over n to the negative 2. Those 2 on the bottom, I need to move up top and add them to the 4 that's already there. 4 plus 2 is 6. We don't write over one that's understood. Your answer is n to the 6th. I'm not going to show this every time, but just remember, alternatively, you could subtract 4 minus negative 2. 4 minus negative 2 is the same as 4 plus 2, and 4 plus 2 is 6. Here I have n to the negative 2 over n to the negative 4. Both of these are negative exponents. Both of them need to be moved, so I just swap places. I take the negative 4, move it up, make it positive. Take the negative 2, move it down, make it positive. Now I have something like we've seen before. N to the 4th divided by n squared. When we have a common base and we're dividing monomials, we subtract the exponents. 4 minus 2 is 2. The answer is n squared. And I could have subtracted negative 2 minus negative 4, which still would have given me n squared. Here we have n to the negative 5, p to the 4th on top, and all that's over r to the negative 2. The p is fine. The n needs to be moved down, and the r needs to be moved up. So move the n down and the r up, and you're done. And I wrote my answer alphabetically up top, p then r, and there's your answer. You just move the negative exponents on the other side of the fraction bar. On example 7, I have a fraction to simplify, 5 over negative 20. Need to simplify that fraction. On my r's, I have 3 up top that need to be moved to the bottom and added to these 2. On the t's, I have 3 more on the bottom than I do on the top. And on the u's, I need to move those up top. So I have simplified my fraction. It's 1 over negative 4, or negative 1/4. Now, if I had nothing else in the numerator, I would need to put my understood 1 there. But I know I'm about to have at least one variable in the numerator. If I don't get one, I'll go back and put my 1. So I've done 5 over negative 20. Now I'm going to do the r's. I have a negative 3 up top. I need to move it to the bottom, add them to these 2 that's already here. So that's going to give me a total of 5 r's on the bottom. On my t's, I could say 4 minus 7 is negative 3, then move it to the bottom and get positive 3. Or I can just say I've got 3 more on the bottom than I do on the top. Either way, I need t cubed on the bottom. And on my u's, I've got 5 on the bottom. I need to move up top. And there's your answer, u to the 5th over negative 4 r to the 5th t cubed. Here I have 4 things, coefficients, a's, b's, and c's. On the coefficient, 2/10 simplifies to 1/5. I don't have to write the understood 1 up there until I know it's the only thing there, but I know this is going to take me 2 steps, so I'm going to go ahead and write it. On the a's, I got a negative 3 on the bottom. I'm going to move up top and add it to the 2 that's already there. That gives me a to the 5th. On the b's, I have a negative 1 on the bottom. I'm going to move it up top, add it to the 3 that's already there. That gives me b to the 4th. And on the c's, both of them are negative, so I need to move the 4 up and the 5 down. Now, if you can flop them in your head and subtract in your head, you can write your answer right now. I could do that, but I want to show you what I'm doing in my head. I'm taking the c to the 4th, moving it up top, the c to the 5th, moving it to the bottom, and then these 4 c's will cancel 4 of these 5 out and leave me with 1 on the bottom. So my answer is a to the 5th, b to the 4th. Those 4 c's cancel out and leave me with 1 on the bottom. Or 4 minus 5 is negative 1, then you move it to the bottom, however you want to look at it. There's my answer. A to the 5th, b to the 4th, over 5c. 4 minus 5 is negative 1, move it to the bottom, or you have 1 more on the bottom than you do on the top when you cancel out. Try number 2. On number 2, the x needs to go down, the z needs to go up, and the y can stay where it is. I'm going to leave it alphabetical. So up top, I already had y to the 9th. I moved my z up to make it positive. I moved my x down to make it positive. There's your answer. Try number 3. On number 3, I have 2 minus 1 on my x's, which gives me x to the 1st up top. And on my y's, I have 3 minus 5, which is negative 2. Move the negative 2 down, make it positive 2 on the bottom. Or I got 2 more on the bottom than I do on the top. So when I cancel out, I'm left with 2 on the bottom. Your answer is x over y squared. Number 4. On number 4, don't have anything to do with the a's, so I'll leave it alone. On the b's, I take these 2 up top, move them to the bottom, add them to the 5 that's already there to give me a total of 7. On the c's, I take this negative 4 on bottom, move it to the top, add it to the 3 that's already there. That gives me a total of 7 c's up top. Your answer is A, c to the 7th, b to the 7th. Number 5. On number 5, first thing I need to do is divide. 75 divided by 15 is 5 over 1. On the p's, I have 2 more on the bottom than I do on the top. On the m's, I need to swap places with them. That becomes positive 4. That becomes positive 5. And then I'm left with 1 on the bottom. And on the r's, you have a negative 8. You need to move up top, make it positive. Your answer is 5 r to the 8th over p squared m. Number 6 says 2x to the negative 2 power over, 2x to the negative 2 power y cubed over z to the negative 4. Give 6 a try. On number 6, my 2 is fine. X has a negative exponent, so I need to move it to the bottom. Y has a positive exponent. I can leave it alone. Z has a negative exponent. I need to move it to the top. Your answer is 2 y cubed z to the fourth over x squared. Here are some different ways negative exponents are used. I'll let you try them before I do. Try number one. On number one, all of this was understood to be over 1. So when I flip it or move it to the bottom, I get 1 over negative 5 to the positive 2 exponent. Negative 5 squared is 25. So your answer is 25. Try number 2. On number 2, pretty easy. The 3 and the n to the 4th I leave alone. I move the m to the 5th to the bottom. Try number 3. The 4 can stay up top. The 2 cubed needs to go to the bottom. 2 cubed is 8. And 4 over 8 simplifies to 1/2. Write your answers in simplest form. Simplest form will never have a negative exponent. Let's try number 4. On number 4, 2 cubed times 2 to the 4th can stay up top. 3 plus 4 gives me 2 to the 7th. This 2 to the negative 2 power needs to go to the bottom. So these two stayed up top. I multiplied them. 3 plus 4 is 7. Move these two to the bottom. And now I'm going to have to use my calculator. I know that's 4. Let me see what 2 to the 7th power is on my calculator. 2 to the 7th power is 128. I leave that in my calculator and I hit divide by 4 equals. And the answer is 32. Fantastic job if you got 32. Number 5. Number 5, I just move my a to the negative 4 up top, leave everything else alone. Your answer is 13a to the 4th b cubed. I'm sorry, 13a to the 4th over b cubed. Number 6. On number 6, need to move that into the bottom. That had the negative 1 exponent. Then I subtract 3 minus 1, which gives me 2. And your answer is 3n squared. Number 7. On number 7, I need to move that n square to the bottom. Actually, I'd move the 8 to the bottom, and that's going to give me 1 over n to the 16th, because 8 times 2 is 16. Another way to have done that would be to right here multiply negative 8 times 2, get negative 16, then move it to the bottom, get positive 16. More than one way to do these. Try number 8. So I'm going to do it the other way this time. Instead of moving all that to the bottom and changing that negative 2 to positive 2, I go ahead and multiply, get my negative, then I write the reciprocal or move it to the bottom to get rid of the negative. Try number 9. On number 9, I'm going to flip these two. That's going to become positive 2. That's going to become positive 11. 10 on top, 7 on bottom. That gives me an extra 3 on top, or I can subtract 10 minus 7. And here 11 minus 2 gives me an extra 9 y's on the bottom. So your answer is x cubed over y to the 9th. On number 7. On number 7, 1 minus 1 is 0. My w's cancel out. Elemental P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So V comes first. On the bottom, I take that negative 3, I move it down. The X stays up top because it's already positive. I move the Y up top to make it positive. My answer is x squared y to the 6th over v cubed. Number 8. On number 8, 32 divided by 4 is 8. On my A's, I take those 8, move them to the bottom, add them to the 3 that's already there. I get 11 A's on bottom. On my B's, I have 2 more on bottom than I do on top. On my C's, I swap places with them to change their signs. Now I have 2 more on bottom than I do on top. So your answer is 8 over a to the 11th b squared c squared. Number 9, 5 over 25 simplifies to 1/5. I only write that 1 if there's nothing else ends up there. I only have one j. It's negative, so I move it to the bottom to make it positive. On the k's, I have a -4 on the bottom. I move it up top, add it to the 2 that's already there to get 6. On my m's, I move the -2 up, the -6 down. Now I have 4 more on the bottom than I do on the top. So your answer is k to the 6th over 5 j cubed m to the 4th. Number 10. On number 10, 3 over 12 simplifies to 1/4. The negative m exponent needs to go to the bottom. The R, I leave it alone. The P, I leave it alone. The T, I leave it alone. Your answer is r to the 4th p squared over 4m cubed t to the 4th. Number 11. On number 11, the y to the 9th stays up top, the z squared moves up top, and the x to the -4 moves to the bottom. Your answer is y to the 9th, z squared over x to the 4th. Number 12. Number 12, I'm going to swap places with my t and my r. So p to the 4th stays up. I move the r square up and the t cubed down. Now everything is positive, and there is your answer. Our numbering is going to change up a little bit. Try number 36. On 36, when I simplify this fraction, I get -4/5. The negative sign could be on the top or on the bottom. I like to put it up top. On my m's, I need to take that -4 and move it to the bottom, add it to the 3 that's already there, which will give me m to the 7th on the bottom. And on my p's, I take the -9, move it to the top, add it to the 2 that's already there. I get p to the 11th. Number 38. On number 38, my fraction simplifies to 2/3. I'm going to move the f to the bottom, the h to the bottom, leave the g and the k alone. The g was already positive. I left it up top, moved the f down, the h down, left the k alone. Try number 39. Number 39, when I simplify the fraction, I get 3. On my t's, I take the -3, move it up top, add it to the 4 that's already there, which will give me 7. On the u's, I have 6 more on the top than I do on the, 6 more on the bottom than I do on the top. And on the u's, I take the, on the v, I move it down. So 3 t to the 7th up top, u to the 6th, v squared. Try number 41. On 41, I leave the r alone. I'm going to take this -t, move it to the bottom, and this -5, move it to the bottom. When I add this -1 to the one that was already there, I get 2 t's on bottom. When I add this -5 to the 5 that was already there, I get 10 on the bottom. Your answer is r cubed over t squared x to the 10th. Thank you.